Yes, sir.
There we go. We got
Yes,
it.
sir.
What's up, man?
What's happening? What's happening?
Oh, just busy, dude.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. It's definitely, around that time of the year where everything kicks back up. Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. And then luckily
Yeah.
my sports team is out of town, so it's like, oh shoot, okay.
Man. Yeah. I already know, man. I already know. I'm still trying to get to the point to get a team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
I've been kind of solo dolo in this right now, but we getting there. We getting there.
Oh hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, for sure, dude. Just like
Yeah.
had in between clients, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Like I'm down, let's go for it.
Right. I didn't know how your day was going. I was like, hold on, you might be.
I
Might be a
know,
little.
dude. Honestly, I didn't even know how it was gonna be either. I was just like, shoot. Let me see what's going on. But yeah.
100%. Yes, sir. Well,
Yeah, so I was just like, oh crap.
yeah, it's all good. We made it happen, though. We made it happen. That's the good thing, right?
Oh yeah, yes sir.
Yes, sir. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this individual right here, you ain't gonna find nothing like it. The things he's doing, it's remarkable. Y'all have no idea. And it's themed after a popular sport. Definitely gonna get into that and get the story behind that. But one of the top therapists I think is one of the ones I follow very closely, get my inspiration from as of many, and I'm trying to bring all my inspirational therapists to full circle to the show to tell their story and so we can get more information about what they do. So without further ado, welcome Homerun Massage Joshua. Make sure I get this right. Huerta? Huerta?
Huerta, yeah. So yeah,
Huerta?
a lot of people pronounce the H, but it's like a W at HWHU accent. So yeah,
You
so it's
Huerta?
Huerta.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, Joshua. Well, welcome,
yeah. We got
welcome,
that
welcome,
Latin.
welcome.
We got that
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's what we doing. It's what we doing. Y'all don't know he's down there in Texas. To be specific. Oh man, I know the standing ovation is good. Oh yeah, go ahead, give it to him.
Latin.
Give him his
There you
roses.
go. There you go.
Give him his roses because he's doing big things. He's doing big things down there in Texas. I understand. I'll let you get it out. I'll let you get it out. Right. Nice. So down there in Texas, hold it down. Share with us your story, man. Like, how did you get to this point? Where's the very beginning where you like, you know what? I'm about to get into massage therapy. We about to get this thing popping.
Oh shoot, dude. So man, it all started. I was going to school for PT.
Okay.
Um, kind of had like a kind of learning disability, so I was just like, you know what? Let me take a week off, like concentrate, relax, and I would always like massage my parents and like, yo, you have a gift for it. You have a gift for it. Like you have your great grandmother's thumb. So I'm like, all right, well, see what's up. I'm like, massage. Like, okay. I was we
Right.
all think about it. It's like how hard can massage be? It's like in
Mm-hmm.
the end, like the schooling's very kind of like okay, it's not as like PT, but it's still like anatomy, physiology, kinesiology, when to massage, when not to massage, contraindications.
Right.
And actually, the school was amazing, dude. Like I fell in love with it. It was just good to where it didn't feel like learning. It felt like,
Right.
yo, this is where you had to be. Like any of us, like I'm pretty sure you were like in that round, like okay, like this
Yeah.
is what I was meant to do. I still want to go
Yes.
back to PT, but shit, 11 years down the line, I'm like, I'm still doing this. I'm like, hey, this is cool. I mean, working like, and I tell people it's like, there's no goat in massage therapy because we all are good. We all have like different styles. Like
Mm-hmm.
my technique is more sports and stretching and trigger point therapy and kind of getting in there and like just helping the muscle fix out. Um, And then there's other people that I kind of recommend that like I see like, hey, you want a relaxation? Go to my homie that's on the west side or east side.
Right.
That I literally try to do that. Like I don't know how other therapists do it, but I reach out and I pump them up so that it's not just one person that you're going to. And like it's
Okay.
just this industry's just been like so amazing that it's building up, and like you just gotta focus and try to um look out for yourself as well too, because you can kind of burn out. Um, this has been a couple of days where I'm just like, whoa, like my body
Mm.
is just not feeling it, but um, it's cool, dude. Like, and then like just finding new modalities to look at too, man. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I recently just went to Whitney Lowe course in Costa Rica, which orthopedic training is just amazing. If no one's ever done that, like go learn from him while he's still teaching. It's amazing. His knowledge
Oh,
is top notch. I tell people like look up those therapists that are like 30, 40 years in the business because they're going to teach us something that down the line we can teach new ones coming in, and so it's just going to be a circle to where we're going to be like, yo, like massage is important. Massage is important for people. Um, just because not necessarily helps them mobility. It just helps them take off their mind and just gives them that power. It's just like, yo, just lay on the table and then forget everything.
right.
Forget your job and like don't forget your kids, but forget your kids for just an hour. Like this is
Right.
you time. Like um, I know it's like people like kids are like, yo, you don't have to forget them completely. Just like, hey, just calm down, breathe in and out, and stuff like that. I don't have kids myself, but um, I mean, God kids still count, but yeah, um, it's yeah. I know how kids can like, oh, mom, or dad,
Right.
pulling on the people down, and just hearing people say like when they're working out, oh man, I haven't been in the gym a lot. I'm like, who cares, dude? Like, you need a massage from outside the gym, from like
Right.
your day to day activities, and um, working on the computer. We're always like
Mm-hmm.
hunched over or some that, and it's just not because of posture. It's because like we're just like okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Our bodies just tell us like, yo, you need to relax. You need some R&R. Um, and like yeah, man, just going throughout my whole years, just seeing people get off my table, it's amazing. Every day, it's just like, all right, I want to keep on going. I was like, you just see that face, you just see them like massage drunk.
Yeah,
um,
that's a term, massage that I think is across the board where
yeah,
people understand like once you got to, and it all depends on your therapist. If you go into the normal, and not to
yeah,
put them down, but if you go to a private practice that's running their own practice, I feel my opinion that we put a lot more in,
I think
and
yeah,
we care a lot more, and we're going to spend a lot more time, and we're really going to try to do our best to get you
cause
as good as we can and get your well-being and your
exactly.
self-care as best as we can for what we can do. And when you have that massage drunk term, it's like a natural high, like you just feel
Oh
like you're
yes,
floating, and you feel like it's one of the most amazing feelings is, and it can be very addicting too, especially if you got a good therapist. Oh
oh
my
yeah, dude. Oh
gosh,
yeah,
that
yeah,
feeling alone is priceless. And it was
yeah,
kind of hard to see a little bit. You do a little
yeah, yeah,
turn
yeah.
on, you know, yeah, or the yeah. There we
I
go.
already know,
Bow.
man.
There you
Yeah,
go.
dude.
Right there. Bow. There we go. So yeah. It's crazy, man. So what made you? I mean, I know your goal was PT,
Yeah,
and it kind of shifted, and hopefully that can still come back around, but it kind of shifted to the massage, right?
yeah.
So like what started that? Is that something that you knew that you always wanted to get into? And I'm assuming with that question as well, kind of like a two question
Yeah.
thing, is that's kind of where the home run baseball came into, maybe maybe you wanted to play baseball first or something like that. Like how did you put
So
that together?
yeah, I've always been a baseball fan. Like
Yeah.
going all my life, I've always played. I've always done that. I mean, I've never been like that caliber. It's like I tell people, it's um, when people say, "Oh man, the team steroids, they're cheating." I'm like, well, are they really cheating? I'm like, yes, it makes them stronger, but they still have to swing the bat. They still have to catch the ball. It's still talent. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, so I mean, in the way, yeah, I guess it's cheating, but not really because I mean, you still got to be talented, and that's what I tell
Right.
people about massage. Um, Anybody can go to massage school. Anybody can learn it. Anybody can do it. You gotta have the hand though. I was blessed to have a hand from my dad's great grandmother, and then from my mom's great grandfather too. I believe like our family, I've discovered that we've had good hands in the system. Like I've had maybe a cousin I haven't met that's probably on I want to say the East Coast, West Coast, my bad. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh snap! I have a cousin that's doing this field too as well. So it's kind of cool. So I was just like, this is cool. I'm like, I found like while I was going to school and like throughout these years that I was talented for this. That I have a hand. People tell me it's like, don't your hands get tired? I was like, no, because I love what I do. Like just being in this industry has just shown me so much. And like you
Right.
said, it's caring. Like I care for my clients to get better, to either if it's in the gym or just at work, just like I just feel like a relax and serenity. Like just okay, I feel good. I feel good when I work with a lot of nurses when I'm going up and down the stairs or I don't feel pain. I feel like it's just like okay, like let's do this. Like my day-to-day activities can get going, even though weekend warriors are like on the bike or or running or just you want to get that person back to where they don't have to worry about that injury, that they could just like, this is my outlet. Because massage is an outlet, but running is an outlet, biking's an outlet, the gym's an outlet. It's a way to say, hey, this is a getaway. It's a getaway to where like you can escape reality. You can escape those bills. You can escape um, what your boss, anything like that. And like I tell people, like I don't like to shit on like NB and all these like small businesses because I tell therapists like, what do you want to do? Do you want to go into business by yourself, be your own boss, take care of your clients, and be like truly like actually you don't have to like worry about like a time. You can just be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to give you a full 60 minutes because this is going on, and I can like put you on a plan, and because they're going to come back and see you. You don't have to worry about like them going as like, oh wow, they're busy, so you have to go with somebody else, and then like people like routine, and they like to have that one person. I tell them like a best of three therapist, and they're like best of three, and I heard this from a clinic down in San Antonio that says like yeah best of three because what happens if one person can't get in, they're busy, they travel, you always want to have that backup. And like some of my clients would tell me it's like yo like my therapist just moved or oh she went out. I was like yeah, that's the thing of our industry, like we have lives too. Sometimes if something pops up, we're gonna take it. So you
Right.
need to have a backup. You need to go like, hey, you know what? And that's why I like to go get trade offs with other therapists because I'm like, okay, you know what? This one's similar to me. This one's a little bit on the softer side. So I go like, hey, you know what? This, and this. Um, Therapist A, B, and C. Um, so that's pretty much where I'm at right there. But I mean, I don't know. It's just this industry just attached me, and it just grew on me to where it's like just building it up and like I actually do want to go see Luca and just all these like Miles Gaucho guys that kind of like just help out with that industry of like more sports athletes and sports therapists um, because that usually helps me out because I usually I'm working with our soccer team in El Paso that's actually recently going there, and it's fun. I mean, going that aspect of like athletes, they are interesting. I've been liking working with the guys. It's fun. It's really good. It's real fun working with a sports team. They're just like anybody else. Like they are busy. Like they get on the table when they can. They have their wives. They have their lives. And it's very it's very cool to work with them. So uh, that's kind of cool too, man. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
man.
dude.
I like the fact that you're what's unique that I about you that I follow you that attracts me to your page and your stories and everything you do the most is how tight you're into more of the active massage. You can do the
Yeah,
relaxation, but you showcase more of the active. And it may start with baseball, but I done seen
yeah.
bodybuilders. I done seen all kinds of. If you're active, you're an athlete, and you compete,
Oh yeah, dude.
home run is where you need to go. He's knocking it out of the park. Telling you that right now. All you
Yes,
gotta do
sir.
is follow his Instagram and follow his stories, and you'll see it for yourself. And I like the fact, see, me either. Like, what's interesting going back to what you said, like you didn't want to kind of, and I kind of don't want to put a negative light towards franchises and everything because we had that type of
Yeah,
competitiveness. I would say I was
yeah.
recently at a career panel, and the interesting thing about that is the owner of the franchise I used to work for a year ago was also there, and here I am on my own, and we were kind of having those differences, and I'm kind of like, man, I want to give them the real information, but that's kind of I kind of
But
reserved
yeah,
it a little bit, because I didn't want
yeah.
to overpower because at the end of the day I look at it that even though for the ones that's listening that thinks that may be interested in getting their massage, it's incredible. It's an industry,
Yeah.
it's a world like no other.
Oh
You're
yeah, dude.
it's a priceless feeling with everything. And I got into it recently just trying to do it on the side because I was doing more of the IT stuff, and it
Mhm.
just consumed me, right?
Yeah, it just
So
gets you.
you're just like, man, what? Like once you know
And
about the body and how incredible the body is and
of
what you
course,
can do naturally, it's like,
you're
how
like,
come
oh,
nobody's doing this? It's
yeah.
mind blowing,
It's like,
right?
yeah, like
and
I,
and mhm.
yeah, like the past like 11 years, I've really haven't like done like lymphatic until I started like looking into lymphatic. I was like, damn, lymphatic is actually pretty nice. Like I'm starting to like this. So like in December I'm gonna go
Yeah,
back and do lymphatic and like I'm like, oh, this is dope. Like it's just chill and then it's a lot easier on me because it's more like a calming massage and style. You don't have to
yeah.
push down because you're just getting that lymphatic system. So like different
Hmm.
modalities are just so wow, dude. It's amazing. And so it's like, yeah, when you're getting in tune with your clients and like you're just feeling them and they're like they're giving back and back, like they're giving your energy, your my energy, and it's just like it's a very field that like we can really connect. It's like we don't have clients, we have family and we have friends, because they're not clients to
Hmm.
us. Like for me, they're not clients. They're like, yo, what's up? Like, how you doing? It's like I see you, and then we're
Right,
seeing them like naked. So it's like, yo, what's up? Get on the table. Well, half naked, not fully naked people. Like,
right.
but yeah,
Technically,
yeah, well, yeah,
to their comfort
yeah, to
level,
that comfort
that's
level.
what the draping
Exactly,
is for the lights.
exactly.
That's what the draping is for, all
Exactly.
right?
So, but I mean, yeah. So we see people like that, and it's yeah. I tell people it's like it's a family that like I say like, yo, welcome to the Homerun Massage family. This is what's up. Like you get to like every 2 weeks, still once a month, man. I tell people like every 2 weeks to once a month. But and that's what I tell people like
Yeah,
new therapists too. Like I like, yo, if you want to work for somebody, work for somebody. Just go in there if you just want to clock in, massage, clock out. That's fine. If you work for yourself, it's gonna be a little bit more work, but
hmm,
the rewards are better because you can take your own time off. You can fix your schedule with how you want to fix it. If you work for a franchise,
hmm.
you're not. You're gonna have to be going with what they have
When
you
they say,
exactly like. Oh, you gotta come in at 5. You gotta come in at 9. And it's
and work a weekend
exactly.
possibly.
I work a
Yep.
weekend. If you don't want to work a weekend, you don't have to work a weekend. Um, it's
Right.
it's something to where it's like, all right, well, that's something that's what's up, and like it's cool,
Right.
and that's fine, and that's what I tell people. That's fine because I mean, either in the end, it's still fine. It's Um, it's what you prefer. It's really like what you prefer. So
Totally agree, man. And it is 2 points you said with that. Like the first one, or just to kind of do the ownership and everything. I think I think a lot of people may get intimidated over working with yourself because
yeah,
they may not know the step and they think it's so much work. It's more work, yes, because you got to think about the marketing, you got to think about the location, you got to think about the economy and where you are
exactly.
and put all that together. But that's also the fun part of the
Yeah,
process of seeing where you would like to place yourself, and then when you find your place on the map, drop you right in and do that. But there's things for people that don't know, like I'm starting off, there's a place here which is probably more than just in, because I'm in Indiana, I'm
yeah,
Eastern time, more than just here, called Solar Salon. They have things like My Phoenix or My Salon or Solar
yeah,
Loft. These are places where you can go in and you don't have to worry about a lot of the business aspect, because if you get your own building, your own standalone, you got to worry about, the insurance for that in case somebody outside and they get hurt, the liability insurance, and there's a lot more that goes in. Well, it's more that goes into it. But if you can find a place here to start, especially if you're only just really trying to massage, really you just need a website, right? A place like this is
yeah,
a great location. So if somebody goes outside and they fall, that's not on you. Now, if they're
exactly.
inside your room here, it's on you.
Yeah,
But as soon as they step outside the door, even in the hallway,
yeah,
that's not on you. So it's like it's almost equivalent to working for the franchise. It's like if you work for a franchise, you're working for the
yeah,
franchise. Here, you like working with them. It's still your place. It's still how you want to design it. Still how you want it to do. But you also have somebody that's with you that you can do. If something needs broke or something needs fixing, there's somebody you can call and they'll fix it. If you want to paint the wall, you still, it's almost like an apartment versus living in somebody else's house.
nice. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
To kind of give you that comparison on there, which is great. And I love the fact you got you mentioned a lot of modalities like the lymphatic drainage to give us breaks on that.
oh
Like
yeah,
what other modalities are those, the main ones you're looking at? Because there's so many across the
yeah.
board.
So there's just so many. Right now, I do well, of course, there's the cupping, the gua sha, um, trigger point. Um, I do have hot stones, but I'm looking for a new hot stone set because um, I had just haven't found a good hot stone set. I'm like, and I think that's what. Yeah,
I
I
got
think I
something
think
for
we
you.
were talking about that like way back. I think this was like 2020, and I saw you
Yeah,
post up
got
like
something
that.
for you.
Yeah,
Got something for
I
you.
saw
Oh,
that.
and
Yeah,
and it's hot. Yeah, yeah, got something for you. For y'all don't know about this right here, this is changing lives. The heat, it stays hotter longer. It's more of a tool.
yeah,
This I can go along the, like the vertebrae can
yeah.
go right here, so I can go along, or I can go. It fits things like this is a perfect example. I can, like the arm here. I'm trying to get the angle. Like it fits the
Yeah.
arm, and you see how like it fits like a glove, and it feels amazing. It's much more
Oh
better,
hell yeah!
and it stays
And
hot.
I've
Oh
seen
god!
those.
And
Yeah,
I got the whole set over
nice.
here,
Yeah,
which is crazy. That's what this thing right here. That's where I get it out of,
yeah,
right here. And I got a total of 10 in there, different shapes. Here's one. I got another one. Um, this is the one I actually use for more of the forearm. I got names for all this. This is plus art. It looks like a big plus, so that's why I call it
nice.
plus art. But this one's when I use it along the arm and then kind of go all the way down. I can use it here. Like it fits so many places. So this is called, as a set, it's called synergy stones. It's something to look
Oh
into
nice.
that that might do it right
Oh
there.
yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit more. Well, it's a lot of
Yeah.
bit more if you get the whole pack, but that's something for you. That I could send your
Oh
way
hell
if
yeah!
you're
Like
looking
I've
for that.
seen those, and like those are amazing. And like I've just seen like my friend actually just got the Himalayan salt stones, which like just heats up as with the light, and so it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. And like I told her, well, how's the cleanup time? She's like, dude, it's just easy. You just bring them down, and you don't have to wipe them down because I mean, it's salt. You don't have to put them in water. So it's like, oh, well, that's cool. Um, I just like I don't want to get the big stone card and like then you have to clean up and it's a hassle to fucking do hot stones, man, because
Oh
yeah, it's the
yeah,
cleanup time. This I mean setup's not real bad.
it's
Setup is real
crazy.
easy. You just put them in there and like turn them on.
Yeah,
But yeah, um
and and even with this, because of the
yeah.
material, this is wipe down material too. You don't have to scrub them and all that like you do stones. These are wipe
Oh
downs.
yeah, just get a Clorox wipes and
Wow, spray it up,
nice.
done, ready to go. So it's like all the I'm gonna send it to you, man. I'm gonna send it to you. And I know you said something earlier about getting trades and having a backup for it. I think that's very important, and I hope y'all didn't miss that when Joshua mentioned that by having that backup. I understand, you have your favorite, and especially if they're amazing. Then there's two things I say about that before I say
Hmm.
two things. One, make sure you schedule.
Exactly.
Make
Exactly.
sure you get on the scheduling system regularly so you don't have to
Wait
wait and worry
a
about,
backup,
oh man, I can't get to it.
right?
I can't get to him this week or he's booked because from the business it's been flowing in waves
Yep.
from when I is that your same experience? Like this summer was slow.
Oh yeah, for
Maybe that was
sure,
across the
dude. Like
nation.
yeah, like
Man.
it's been like maybe every 2 weeks it's been off like just up and down, up and down, up and down. And then now it's since
Mm-hmm.
like so there's some days where I'll travel with the locomotives. Like actually I was in Atlanta. Um, when was this? Like a couple months ago. I went down there with them, and so like I was out that week, and so I told clients, I was like, "Yo, like book accordingly because I'm gonna be out of town." And then like throughout this probably next couple of months, I'm like going out of town too, and this is like I'm taking my niece up to college, and then I'm going probably gonna go with the locomotives to Tampa Bay to where they're gonna have a game out there, and so um, yeah, so there's gonna be some days where I'm like, yo, you gotta book accordingly, and that's why I tell like therapists, like, yo, if you book accordingly, if you book when a therapist tells you like, hey, do you want to book make your next booking, do it. If you don't know about your schedule, then that's fine. I mean, most of us have a booking night site that kind of helps us out. Because I mean, yeah, you can always
Mm-hmm.
text us and like, hey, what's up? But I mean, if we don't get a text to you, it's like we're probably with the client or we're doing our own thing. We're at the store or we're working out. Yeah, it's like, hey man, like chill out. Like, is this just about the appointment? Because you go to my site. If there's something about like, oh hey, my neck and shoulders, I'm like, yo, like, okay, well we could do this and this and this. Make an appointment because like a lot of people it's like, oh, okay, just book me. I'm like in the middle of a set. I'm like, well, fuck. I'm like, and then like you get I'm like, oh man, I was like, I'm working out, dude. I'm like, come on. But yeah, so I tell people like, yeah,
Yeah.
dude, if it's just about booking an appointment, like use my set, dude. I pay for it. And that's what people tell us like, don't
Right.
think about it. It's like we pay for our booking sites, dude. Like
Right. Every
every month
month.
it comes out.
I use
Exactly.
Squarespace. What do you
Um,
you
I
use
use
Squarespace?
Vogaro. So Vogaro kind of has everything.
Oh,
They
that's
have
Regaro.
the website and everything like that. It's a little bit more to do your own app because they can design an app for you. Um, but maybe at the end of the year I'll probably like get that service added. But I've been liking Vogaro. It's real cool. It's like everything's on there. I just sign
Yeah.
on once, check the budgets and check everything. It has everything from like the um, how much you make and stuff like that to like the clients to the soap notes to uh, gift cards. So I'm like, all right, this is cool. I like this. I've worked with Clinic Sense. I've worked with Square. I've worked with mostly with Square, and I've just done my own soap notes and like writing. But I'm done with writing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Typing
time,
maybe,
yeah,
but that
like
writing.
writing is like hard. Like I really did like Clinic Sense because it was just like a click and like click on there, and you can just feel like, you know what, it was the same, and you just click same as last time, and then it saves it. That was really cool. I like him. I mean, I might go back with him, but I don't know. I've been liking Mogaro. It's real easy. Um, the only thing is like people just have to make a login to log in. Uh, But it's cool because you can go and it's businesses from that area. It's like massage and
Mm.
yoga and gyms, and so it helps out everybody. So I mean, other therapists, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like it's just like Booksy. It's just like anything else. So
Yeah, full steam ahead. There's a couple of them, and the reason I actually started with
yeah,
Vagaro, and it even comes with your own
yeah,
card reader and everything like that and stuff. And I was like, man, this is what it
yeah,
is. But to me, for me
yeah,
personally, because I'm trying to expand in different, like doing a
yeah,
podcast here, so you can see how this works, and doing things like having merch, and if I have courses, I can put courses on there, like if I'm doing a live, I don't want to say webinar, but a live
yeah,
demonstration on how to massage the feet or something, and memberships and all that stuff,
yeah.
which Vergara has many of this. But I also found out, I think I haven't compared this with Vagaro, that I know a lot of other software are easily integrated into Squarespace a lot
Yeah.
more. And if they're not, they got that one software called Zapier. If anybody know about that, the Zapier, you can connect it to Zapier, and then that'll connect it to the
Oh, cool.
Squarespace to work as the middleman to make it work if they haven't already make it
Oh,
work.
cool.
So it's a lot of things that I saw about Squarespace, and it was a lot easier for me. And that's the only reason why I was like, I'm gonna go with this. And even with my intake
Yeah.
forms and my soap notes, I got it all embedded into
Nice.
one. And I use a program payment wise called
Okay. Yeah.
Stripe.
Yeah.
And the reason why I like Stripe is because like, which I probably didn't know, is if you're doing pretty good, and you're flowing, you're getting clients and everything. I would say once the season kick in, summer or winter, seasonal, you actually can be qualified for a loan,
Oh, cool.
right? Now the benefit of this, you probably know about this, Josh, but the benefit of this is if you do have like the summertime, and say it was a tight moment, it wasn't really that
Yeah.
good, and you kind of on the edge, you can get this loan depending on where it is.
Yeah.
It raises every time to kind of push you through. You don't have to worry about, it's just another
Yeah.
option. I'm kind of, I don't like getting loans, but it's another option knowing that if I need an
Yeah.
emergency, you're already approved, you're already qualified for it. You just got to be like, yep, I want it, and then bow, you get it, which is pretty good. I think that's pretty cool, and it's more international friendly.
Nice.
As we try to expand, so that's information. That's what this is about. Giving y'all all this information that y'all probably
Oh, hell
don't
yeah.
know. As far as like, you can probably get to the point where you have your own standalone building
Yeah.
and everything like that. But it's not as hard as y'all think. You got two therapists right here doing their own thing. It's a little bit more work. And if you're lazy and you want to do it, then yeah, you need to go to franchise
Exactly.
anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have somebody else do it and just do what's told. Or you can have a life, like you said,
Yeah.
working out and doing this, and you adjust your day, which makes it that much harder, especially when it's
Oh,
busy,
yeah.
to return phone
Oh,
calls.
for sure.
That's why we work so hard and pay monthly
Yeah.
for the website. That can be is so simple, it's so easy, and it makes it easier for us.
Yeah.
It helps
Yeah.
us to
Because
help
sometimes we don't
you.
have a receptionist, so like we could just go back and like, oh, okay, cool. I got a 3 bookings that like would work through there. It's like, and then like just leave a message. Like I've had some people that like just call and like I'm like, okay, they didn't leave a message. I'm like, okay, or text us appropriately. Just don't say, hey, it's DJ. I'm like, who's DJ? I'm like, how were you referred? Like, yo, like
Right?
just like, hey, like text us like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm so and so. I was referred from this much. I have a lower back injury that needs help. Can you get me in for an hour? Or can you, when's the earliest you can see me? Give us a little bit more information than just like,
Hmm.
hey, I'm like, I'm not that girl you met at the club that you're gonna be like, hey, what's up? I'm like, no, like, come on, bro. I'm like, text me right, bro.
Right?
Like, text me right. Um,
Right.
so I'm like, I've
Yeah.
only had that once, but yeah,
That
I mean, But yeah, it
It
does.
happens. It's all, and the plug in one of the future episodes, what to do before and
Yeah,
after a session if you don't know how to go
yeah,
about it. Everybody have their own system, and especially when you find a therapist you like, it's just
yeah,
important to understand the system they have in place. It's there for a reason, because sometimes I look at it like this. We don't mind, especially if it's slow. Yeah, we're gonna
yeah,
try to get as many as we can. We're slow, but when we're busy is what we worry about.
yeah.
And that's why we have those systems in place to help us because we're only
Exactly.
one person. I can't be on the phone, yeah, I'm working on the shoulder right now. Yeah, what you need? What you need? Extra ketchup? No, this ain't
Exactly.
good.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, for sure.
you know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? So we can't do that, because our focus where it should be is
Exactly.
on the client,
Exactly. And
right?
it's a focus of 1 hour,
So
maybe 90 minutes. So it's like, yeah, we need people like to, and then especially when they call them back, we call them back. They're like, oh, well, it's like, you didn't answer, so I called somebody else. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. I'm like, that's cool. I'm like, calm down, bro.
that's right. That's where the
Exactly.
backups come in.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That's where that comes in. Yep. Or you can just go
Exactly.
online.
Or you can go online and book
You can go
accordingly.
online. Right? We have it there
Exactly.
for you. It's just utilized, and this kind of needs in, or kind of threads into the next question, which is, the fact that I don't know if it's just me, but I find it. I look at it like, I get a lot of taxes and everything, and I love it all. I help as many as I can, but I feel that's because we're, as for future
Yeah.
massage therapists, you're more accessible. When sometimes, well, all the time, if it's a franchise, Walmart, any of these other franchises, I'm pretty sure that client's not gonna. They call in and they have a dedicated, which I talked about on the episode before. They have a dedicated person to answer the
Yeah.
call and get you going for you. This is why we need the systems in
Exactly.
place, right? So I find that a lot of times with private practice, that the phone calls and the texts go through more. Like I feel like maybe it's more convenient for them in some cases, or they feel that it's more convenient for them to just
Oh
text
yeah.
and call versus going towards the website. Like, how do you
I
feel
think
about, do you
yeah, I
have
think
where,
everybody's just like more of
like,
that like kind of they it's more of a hassle just to like log into the website. Especially if you have one that kinda you have to create a login and stuff like that. Um but
mm-hmm,
I mean it's just hard because like we're like, yo, like well I'm trying to get to you on the text, but yeah, it's just like they just prefer to text and like, yo, text me and like just tell me a day and tell me a time. And we could do that,
right,
but if somebody else is booking online and I tell you, oh, coming out on Monday at 5 p.m. and that person is already booking at Monday at 5 p.m., I'm like, oh, well, never mind. That just got booked. I'm sorry. And then they're gonna get mad because I was like, I told them that time, and then they're like, yo, well, I mean, you could have gone onto the website when this one did, but I mean, I could take you. Well, the next opening's probably not for another 2 hours. So it'll be like at 8. It's like, okay, well, shoot. Um, so yeah, so it's hard. And then
right,
like I said, it's like sometimes we're in session, so it's just like it won't be until like another hour that I get back to you, man. And
very
by
true.
then it might every minute counts. I mean, it might be already taken
Mm-hmm.
and so and yeah, and I tell people it's like and that's what I like about
Yeah,
Vagaro too, is it has a waiting list. That's how I'm like, well, I put you on the waiting list.
ah,
Um
okay,
and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. I'm like, but I'm not guaranteeing everybody's going to cancel because we don't want that.
right.
It's like in the end, we don't want people to cancel. Like if it
Right,
happens, it happens, and like the waiting
right,
list comes in handy. But I mean,
right.
we want to see everybody in there. But yeah, it's
Right, you want to help
exactly.
as many as you can, and that's important. I think that's another gem that may go over a lot of people's heads, is that when you book online, that
Yeah,
guarantees your spot.
exactly.
think that's something, yeah, we can if it stays open,
Yeah,
cool, we can get you in. But it'd be logical. It's only fair, because say you try to get online, and say we block
yeah,
it off to get you in. Oh, nobody can
yeah.
look here because this person wants to get in. But you don't come,
Then it's a wasted hour. Yeah,
or something may happen. Who knows? We don't know about tomorrow. And there was, who knows, a person that would have booked that, but it was
yeah,
blocked off online. You just caused, a double effect. Not only you're not coming, which we were really hoping to work
yeah.
with you, but somebody else that possibly could, that we don't know of,
And
could have
could have
got that
been,
spot.
yeah, somebody
It
that's
wasn't
gonna be like, oh man, I'm gonna be
available.
here every 2 weeks. So like, yeah, it affects. It really
Right.
does affect us. Yeah,
It
it
hurts
really does
us.
affect.
Right. It's
Yeah,
something to think about. Now, with the license and everything, like, how is it, the licensing process down there in Texas? Is it like, how many, like, credit hours, and how long is the
so
school, and is it to the point now here in Indiana, starting, or just started July 13th, they now enforced it where you have to have a license, period. At first it was kind of more on, we
yeah,
highly encourage you to have a certification and go to school and have the training and everything. You
yeah,
should be doing that. But now it's like, if you don't have a
yeah.
license, you ain't doing it now. And it reached that point. So how is that with at
So I
down there where
graduated
you are?
11, and I feel like it's always been like that way. Because like even internship, we couldn't even take
Okay.
tips. Because we weren't licensed. We just had like, oh hey, do an
Right.
internship. It was just like, okay, this and this, and then we would just tell our clients, hey, what do we need to work on? We give them a paper, and then it was like that. But that was through the school. So we'd work out the school license. But yeah, you have to have a
Mm-hmm.
license in Texas to work off an individual. You can work through a chiropractor and work off of their license. Um, but then you're working for somebody because you're under that chiropractor. So you're coming in when they're coming in, or
Mm-hmm.
depending on how you're with the chiropractor. That's all depending on the relationship. Like, okay, well, I can do this day and this day. I mean, you can kind of work with them, but um, I rather tell people like just get your license because our school is about a year. I think most massage schools about a year to like 9 months. Um, and it's not too
Mm-hmm.
bad. And then in Texas, we only have to have, well, right now, 12 continuing education courses hours, which this year's, the last few years, I've been like kind of overseeing that because I just been like, all right, let me do this one, let me do this one. It's really been that slow, so it's like, all right, well, let me get my yo massage, let me get this one, and let me go to Costa. I actually did go to Costa Rica School of Massage for one of them, and that school is amazing. If anybody wants to study massage, go
Really?
abroad, go to the Costa Rica School of Massage. It's amazing campus. The town is amazing. Um, you can get by with very little Spanish, but it's a very very nice town. I'm actually going back in December for the lymphatic trainings, which it just popped up, and I was like, "I, it's calling me back. Let's go." And I told him like, "This is something I'm going to be going, continue to do my continuing education hours." Like, she's like, "Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad." So Tess is awesome. The people that run it, it's cool. And it's just a it's a nice little school, nice little like getaway, and man, it's beautiful in Costa Rica. Um, but yeah, dude, 12 hours of continuing education per year. Um, I think yeah, like this year, I've already had like or like about maybe 50 to 60. So I'm good. I probably don't need to take any for next
Mm,
year, and then it's every 2 years that we have to like
right.
renew our license. So within those 2 years, you have to get 12.
Okay. Oh,
So
2 years.
um, yeah, 12 credit.
12
Yes,
credit
sir. Yes, sir. So
CEUs.
it's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's how it is here, I believe, because
Yeah,
which is how it is here. But as of right now, because of that shift, they're saying just at this time period, this is what, August 12th, 2022. So
yeah,
depending on when you receive this episode, Spotify, YouTube is gonna be everywhere. Doing big things. So this here through this process, they're giving us 3 years, and well 4 because they started last year, technically in 2021, to do 48 credits because of this shift. So they
Nice.
kind of doubled it. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, we're going to give you the 4 years, but you need 48 CEUs within
Okay.
that 4 year span. Then I believe it'll go back
Yeah.
to the 2 years. Here is 24
Yeah.
credit
I think
hours every 2 years.
I
So
think everybody's
12 every
everybody's
year,
starting to go up
something
to
like
like a
that.
little bit more than than 12, 24. Because I think we're getting ready to like change up pretty soon as well. Um, which like
Mm-hmm.
I have like a lot of like therapists because like, hey, did you get audited? I'm like, no. It's like I haven't gotten audited since my first year. But they will audit you and it's like, hey, have you done your hours? And they'll send you like we need proof. I'm like, damn. But when we do it, like we have to show, okay, hey,
Wow.
did you do continuing education? Yes. And this all like doing the renewal process, and then we just put down what we did and like how many hours it was, and that kind of goes from there. And then if you have the certificate, you can kind of just send it in. So if we do that, then like it's cool. And then if we just don't send it in, I think and that's when it's like, oh hey, like we want to double check, like do you have your certificate? But lately, I haven't gotten that, so that's cool. In Texas, we're starting to do like with the cosmetologies, kind of have it like where our picture goes on the license. Before it was just like a paper, and so it's like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. I'm like,
Oh,
but I'm not gonna put my picture on there. Like, people know who I look like. But yeah, it's cool.
right.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
cool. Like, and then like, it's cool to be in a gym too because you were like, how do you like working in a gym? I'm like, it's cool. I mean, if you don't have anybody, you get to go work out, kind of like freshen up and get warm for like the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and all your clients are here,
Mm-hmm.
so I mean, all my clients work out here, and then they just like, hey, can you get me in? Like, yeah. So it's easy. It's easier to build up. So I think that's why like my summer really wasn't too bad because I was able to see them. Like, hey, just want to get in. So it was able to get more of the gym people in than like anyone else like outside of a gym. So that's why I like working in a gym. Don't want to get my own place, standalone. I do, but ah, it's just way easier working with somebody because like the whole vibe is good. The gym people, the
Yeah.
gym owners I work with, um, all the way to like
Right.
where I like so our building got bought out by this like biking company with road bikes and mountain bikes. That they have a cafe, so it's gonna be like cafe, bike shop. We have a massage, and then we just purchased a sauna and an ice bath. So it's like straight rehab, um, recovery, and then workout, and then you can go have your breakfast at the cafe, and it's a nice little building, man. Yeah, it's a pretty cool little spot here in Central El Paso, um and that's why I tell people too. Like I like
Mm.
being Central because it's like you get people from the West, East, Northeast, to where it's like yeah, like
Oh
it's
yeah.
not too far. It's like all right, cool, yeah,
Wow. That's
yeah,
interesting because I never thought
yeah,
about it from that perspective. That so you have your practice
yeah,
inside
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
gym,
So
correct? Which is,
yeah,
I mean, it's the best of both worlds. Which I was just about to ask you, like, how do you go about advertising? But if
yes,
you're already there at the gym, you're
right
catching
there, yeah.
them
So it's just
right
like
there, you know, and
yeah. So I have my
wow.
own little space, and then like we share like our gym lobby and my lobby. So it's just like yeah, man, just like have a seat there, and like I'll let you know when you come on in. And so yeah, so it's amazing. It's here, and then like if I'm doing like maybe some active like stuff, like while I'm watching the squats, I can go out there and like, hey, we're gonna do some squats. We're gonna like lift up this bar and then squat down. So I get to use like some of that equipment for like kind of like a rehab purposes as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, so it's real cool, man. It's working with CrossFitters and everything. It's awesome. bodybuilders, like just athletes. It's just amazing. It's real cool. And I still get my regular clients as well too.
Man,
The what people say the norms, the regulars,
I feel you.
the non-athletic. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That's incredible, man. I like the fact because you're at such an essential
yeah,
part, you know what I mean, because you're catching the training process, which I feel is what they is
exactly.
when they need it the most, athletically wise, you know, like you're training, you ripping, and it's like boom, right here, I'm already ready for you. You don't
Yeah.
even have to leave or go to a different location and everything like that. So you probably do you get more walk-ins that way? I would assume that, well,
Um.
your walk-ins would probably be a little
Yeah.
bit more
Walk-ins are
increased.
about probably not as much because most of them schedule because they'll catch me like, hey, do you have time tomorrow? Or they're usually like, oh yeah, hey, can I get on the books for next week? I'm
Hmm.
like, yeah. So it's more like, kind of like a walk-in booking kind of style because like they'll see me, they'll walk in and like, hey, can you book me
Okay.
for next week? I'm like, yeah. Majority when it's like that same day, it's very rare. Because they like, oh, I don't have time right now. I gotta go somewhere, but yeah, let's do next week. Okay. And that's like, oh, well, you have 30 minutes. Okay, yeah. So it's like not too much, but yeah,
Yeah, makes more sense. I think that's through that it
yeah,
just fits, man. I don't unless you really I mean my opinion, I can't see. It'd be
yeah.
nice to have your own place like you said, but it's working. It's like it's so
Oh,
well
for
put
sure.
together, man, and you know, to make your life easier. Like everything is right there. I can oh man, you get
Exactly,
breakfast.
yeah, dude. And
You
that's
get
why I like it
breakfast.
too. I was like, oh, cool, fuck it. We're gonna have a cafe. I get to get
You
my
know?
coffee intake. I'm like, let's do this. I love it. So yeah,
Bagels,
Las
lots of
Vegas.
bagels.
Let's go.
Man, this is incredible. I need to do something. I need to talk to them, man.
It was
So
like, we need a cafe up in
we
here,
need some
man.
type of routine breakfast. I mean, right? I mean, we have a break room. You know, it's like
Yeah,
you get what you put in it. You ain't put nothing in
exactly.
it, you ain't got nothing in there, type thing. Which is just another alternative. And you know, mentioning like going all the way back, I believe we crossed paths and you know got introduced to ourselves. I want to say definitely on Instagram. It wasn't.
Yeah,
It was a while ago, but I believe it was through a conversation with another therapist that brought you to my attention that I follow pretty heavy. If I'm
probably the one I
figuring
think we
right.
followed the same way. Sadie. Yeah, I think it was.
Yep. That's why you
Yeah,
know because I follow her heavy. I'm trying to get her own
yeah. She's
show as
totally
well. She's
busy.
coming.
Like,
I know
yeah,
she's extremely busy, and I
yeah.
know she said she'll get to me and everything. It's no pressure. Whenever she's ready, I don't care if it's 3 years from now. We're ready for it. You know, and I think that's what brought. And
yeah,
we kind of just clicked off of that. Like,
yeah,
yo, how's it going down there? How's it here? Especially, no, it
yeah,
was a while. It was like 2 years at least because I think even COVID was going
yeah.
through. Because we was talking about the COVID situation, I think
I
it was a
see.
couple of
Yeah.
times with that. So at least 2 years. So no, yeah, you've been around.
Oh
We've
hell
we've
yeah,
been knowing each other for a while through that. And I would imagine so you don't do I would have well, I mean, I see you do
yeah.
advertising and stories online, but do you do any
Um,
other
digitally,
marketing
I
digitally?
don't. I used to do a lot of like
Okay.
events and your typical like, oh, chair massage, chair event, table event, business cards. I don't do business cards no more because like I feel like people like take a picture on the phone and then like toss it away and it's like business cards are expensive and so I'm like, do I really want to buy that? And then it just ends up tossing it and they just get the picture on the card or it's like just like, yo, just call it. I have my Instagram and stuff like that. Instagram's like the new business card, so really I just have Instagram for business. But yeah, so I'm like, other than that, like I kind of like at the right now this time I'm like not so much as advertising because I'm like, okay, I just need to manage my clients that I have right now. Like in a thought school, they told us
Right.
you can basically make a living off of maybe like 200 clients. You don't need 5 or 600.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't. I mean, if you get them on a constant
Right.
base and they're coming to you like
Right.
every 3 weeks to once a month, you're good. Like I said, they become part of your family. Like it's like, hey, what's up? You get to know them. Shoot, I've
Mm-hmm.
had like a client at when I used to work at Massage Envy that was like, and clients know like when you talk to them, they're like, oh, hey, how's so and so, or you tell them like, hey, are they still doing this? Or and they're
Yeah.
like, they look at you like, you remember they do softball? I'm like, yeah, it's like yeah, soccer. And then one should always come to the clinic in their softball gear. So I mean, it's like, yeah, it's a given. I mean, and you just got to remember that if you put that effort of like recognizing and remembering, clients are gonna like that, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, this guy
Mm-hmm.
recognizes. He remembers my kid. He remembers me. He remembers my husband." Um, Sometimes you remember the little tattoo
Mm-hmm.
that's on the back. It's like, "Oh man, yeah." You have a little Snoopy on there. And
Right.
so it's just like, yeah. So it's just like, okay.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, we see everything. And we hear and we know, and it's cool. Like there's some clients like for their birthdays, I'll be like, hell, hey, I got you a little something. I was like, oh, okay, cool, thank you. Especially for the gym owners, like I was like, hey, since you guys do a lot for me, and like I've been with them for like 6 years, I usually get them a little something for their
Mm-hmm.
birthdays, and so like one of them just had a birthday. I was like, hey, here you go, here's a card and stuff like that. And so I just do that, just like recognizes people, and they're like, oh my god, this is awesome, and it shows people that like, oh, you care, like you
Right.
really do care, and that's what's important. Like you want to show someone that you care,
Mm-hmm.
because that's part of the process. Like that's part of the process of rehab and massage. And if you show somebody that you care, it's gonna be like, all right, like I trust this person, because any modality will work. I tell people any modality will work. I know there's some studies out there that are like, oh, scraping
Mm-hmm.
this and it doesn't really do this, and cupping and foam rolling and all this, and yeah, there's always going to be those studies, and it's going to tell you, oh well, is this really working, and like it does, but in the end it's just a tool. It's a placebo effect. It's going to tell you the client like, oh yeah, we're doing this, it's working, but really it's more the therapist that's doing the work. If the therapist has good intent,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna feel good. You're gonna feel better because we're gonna tell you like, oh hey, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna get you on the table, and you're gonna feel good. Oh, all right. I came to the right person. We're like, oh, we'll see how we do. I mean, we could try this. That's gonna be like, oh well, shoot, I don't know if I'm gonna trust this person. So it's all like how you word and how you communicate with your client. Be like, yo, get on the table. I got you. If you show that confidence, they're gonna trust you. They're gonna be like, oh, this guy knows, and this guy knows what he's doing, knows his anatomy and his muscles and stuff like that. So that's really, I mean, usually that's what I tell all the therapists. I'm like, yo, just be confident with it and do your thing. Um, so yeah, yeah,
Yeah. That's a lot of key points, right?
yeah,
For what you said. One, like, I mean, in school, out of school, we might as well start
yeah,
with the last one. I worked my way back. Out of school, that's one thing that the school is not going to
ah,
be able to teach you is confidence. That's going to
mm-hmm,
come with experience. And you can be confident
yeah,
while you're in school, like, yeah, but it's different when you get out of school. Out of school is a whole,
yep,
it's like you start from ground zero with your confidence because the thing is you when you're in school you can kind of
yeah,
lean on the school, right? And you know it's kind of like, well, I'm a student, I'm just learning
yep,
this. You kind of get that in your head like, well, I'm not quite there yet, but I'm building up. So you give more room for, you know, I don't want to say you don't give your best. I'm pretty sure you give your all, but at the same time your confidence is kind of
oh yeah, for
surrounded by
sure.
this bubble. Once you get out of school, that bubble pops because then you go from a student to a
Oh, for sure,
licensed
dude.
massage therapist professional, and they're going to think that the bar
When it's just
expectation is
like,
going to be
yeah,
much high because they're gonna think you know what you're doing, and you should, but at the same time there's life experiences that you just don't get after.
exactly.
It just comes with time, especially coming
Yeah,
right out of school, and that's where a different confidence level comes because then wherever the case scenario may be, they're coming to you to see if you can help. And it's kind of like, well, you don't want to
Yeah.
say, oh, I just got out of school. You don't want to lean on that because then they're going to be like, you
Yeah.
just out of school? Oh, that's going to hurt you a lot worse, than saying,
Yeah.
let's see what we can do and give it your best shot. So there's a whole nother
Yep.
confidence level that you're starting from zero once you get
Oh
out of
yeah.
school. There's a transition there, and I don't want y'all to miss that. The second thing is he was talking about, Joshua was talking about, is the building this rapport, building this relationship with the clients. That's important. I know a lot of schools may teach keeping it business,
Oh yeah.
and they may not advise you to engage in those type of conversations. But me and Josh, I totally approve
Yeah.
this message. Okay. That is important. Build an rapport, build a
Yeah.
dialogue. Remember, there's a lot of clients that I get that
Yeah.
it's not until I see the tattoo when I actually remember who they are. I can act like, yeah, I remember you, and I really don't.
Exactly.
It's not until I seen
And you're
Snoop.
like, oh
Oh yeah,
hey.
and then then it hits me
I was
15
like,
minutes
oh, how
later,
was
like,
that
oh yeah,
vacation? Yeah.
Snoopy,
And
and
then
then
we
they're like,
that's
oh yeah,
right.
it
Oh,
is
you were
Snoopy,
going on vacation.
right? It's like I thought you said. I just forgot about the tattoo. No, I forgot about you. Now I remember you. you know, but and that comes memory because come on, you got
Exactly.
200 clients. That's a lot of families. That's a lot of people. That
Exactly.
also comes with time as well. Of seeing them. The more you see them, the easier it is to being able to remember certain things. That's why building that rapport, building that dialogue. You know,
Yeah.
it's almost inevitable because even though we're massage therapists, a lot of stories comes out, a lot of
Oh yeah.
mental relief comes out, a lot of talkative points. I'm trying to say this best way I can professionally. A lot of things may come
Exactly.
out that they are coming to you with,
But
not
like,
necessarily
yeah,
to
just for us to
solve,
listen, and
but
like
to listen.
we hear it out. We hear it
Just
all.
for us to
Like,
listen.
I mean, I don't know how many people are
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, you must have hear all the drama. I'm like, well, kind of, yeah. I'm like, I know what's going on in the gym world. I'm like, oh, this and this is going on in this world, and like, who's hooking up with who? I'm like, and so it's just like, yeah, and like you just hear all this like stuff and stuff like that. So that's why I tell people like the whole thing with like the Sean Watson case. I know, yes, it is serious. You shouldn't do any sexual activity with a massage therapist, or ask them. But honestly, I'm waiting for that one male to come up and say like, "Oh, hey," I was like, because I'm like, how many actual females or is it true? Because we don't know what's going on in the room. I mean, I tell people it's like, yo, like I don't know. Like in the end, they could just be saying something because now all of a sudden it's fishy for me. It's fishy because he just got paid a pretty good paycheck from the Browns, and now all these assumptions are coming out. How come these assumptions didn't come out in Houston when he was in Houston? I was like, if
Right.
he did
Right.
make come out in right away. Don't wait like fucking 4, 10, 20,
Right.
20
Right.
years down the line and be like, oh, well, he sexually assaulted me
Right.
or he asked me for favors. I'm like, well, how do we know? I mean, one, you're in a private room. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we can't have
Mm-hmm.
cameras in there. So, I mean, yeah. And if we do, like, yeah, you should not be going to the therapist that has cameras in the room. Exactly.
Right. That's invading your privacy.
Yeah,
How you gonna
exactly. So,
think about the
yeah,
undressing process? like for prime
yeah.
example, that's the reason why this is here. And a lot of people don't know. Yeah, it's a nice design, but what you don't think, and I've never shown this, is that's a mirror.
Yeah,
That's my table, right? So with that mirror, I'm thinking about
yeah,
from prone to supine to flip over. That's a bad angle. These are
exactly,
things and little things we think about. This is why you need to go to a
exactly.
licensed professional massage therapist. And I'm not saying he
Yeah,
isn't. I'm just saying I think about things like that because we should do
yeah,
our best to prevent any loose ends or angles. You know what I mean? I thought about everything, and that's why you by
yeah.
going through the client's process, and I'm
I
looking.
was
I'm
like,
like, oh
yeah,
no, I don't like
we're gonna
that
do something
angle.
about it to fix it up.
We gonna cover
And
that up.
that's why I tell all my male
Mm-hmm.
my male athletes is like, yo, why not go to male massage therapist, dog? Because if you go in like you're gonna be going like with what's going on with Watson. Settlements. He said, she said. I mean, with a male massage therapist. I mean, no offense to my female uh therapist. I mean, they're great, but I mean, with a male, I mean, it's just a different vibe. I mean, it's a male. I mean, no homo
Mm-hmm.
attached. Like, dog, we get to have guy talk. I tell that to a lot to my clients. Like, dude, we get to have guy talk. You can't do that
Right.
with a female therapist, and I guarantee you, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot do that with a female therapist.
Mm-mm.
Because some of them are sensitive. One little word, get off my table.
Mm.
With a male, it's not too bad with a straight male. I don't know about yeah. Exactly. It's like it turns into a
Yeah,
barbershop. You're
it's
like,
kind of
hey,
like the
what's up, my
barbershop.
guy? And like you hang out and have fun. Like, and I mean, honestly, I've heard like, oh man, like a
Mm-hmm.
male has a little bit more of a deeper head. I was like, I mean, sometimes we do. Um, we try not to go as deep because sometimes less is more. But I mean, sometimes when you need it, I mean, a male can just kind of like get in there. Um, but yeah, and then yeah, we
Yeah.
get to talk sports, women, day to day activities. I'm like, and you won't get offended. I mean, but yeah,
Right. Right. It's the massage
yeah,
therapy sessions are is it's incredible. Which also, I'm glad you brought that up.
yeah,
Like the male, like I don't think a lot of people realize like it's
yeah,
actually a little tougher for us male therapists than
yeah,
no offense to like you said, no offense to the female therapist,
yeah,
but situations like that, like you was talking about, is
exactly.
that hits us more. You know what I mean? Not saying it doesn't ever happen on the women's side, but if
Uh-huh.
anything, it'd be more harassing the therapist, the women's side, like what happened.
Yeah, I think
What
it
was
was
that
like in
place? I don't want to say
Houston
like
or
Atlanta or
something like that.
somebody went
Yeah,
in
well,
there
it's like
and
one of the pro athletes.
used
Um, and then
something.
like yeah,
Right? Yeah, it's crazy. Like 'cause with a female therapist, you need to protect the
yeah,
female. They become the target, especially majority of the time, especially with a male client.
yeah.
But
Jeep,
with a male therapist, they fear
exactly.
the client feels they're the target. It switches. You know what I mean? So you have to be careful
Yeah,
and keep it as professional as possible. And yeah, build that
profession.
rapport,
Yeah,
build that relationship, but keep it professional at the same time. Don't
exactly.
don't make anybody uncomfortable. As long as they're comfortable and they're good, and it doesn't mean go as far as you can. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just make sure everything is comfortable, professional, legit, and they had a great session. Because once you do that, you remember them. You're having to talk, and
yeah,
it's like best friends. You know what I mean? Pretty much because, like
yeah.
Josh said, your clients become your family. They become your friends because you're
Oh
working
yeah,
on them and seeing them more than
yeah,
unless you living with you got a family at home, of course. But
exactly.
that's who you're working on. That's who you see. So it's very it's incredible, man. Like of how well and how incredible a massage session is. I don't think a lot of people know. That's one of the reasons for this podcast to
Hell
give
yeah,
you these type of talks, right? To give you an insight of and a perspective you're not thinking
yeah,
about. Because most people they just want a massage, right? I'm stressed. I want to get a massage. You're not thinking about anything else. You're not thinking about the massages of
exactly.
what that therapist has been going through today that we got a blackout and
Yeah,
everything.
it is.
It's a lot that
It
happens.
is.
It's a lot, man.
Um,
So I like the I like all your points, man. Is very vital, and thank you for sharing us
oh,
the
anytime,
sports
man,
world
anytime.
of massage therapy and getting into that in the marketing. Oh, another question
Um,
for you: do you
I
do
did
mobile
when it came out
sessions,
of
or
school.
do you?
And then I kind of was. COVID kind of like slowed it down. Um, Now I kind of just do it for like established clients that have been with me for like 5 years. Um, they gotta come see me at the shop first, and then like I'll
Mm,
talk to them like, okay, you know what, like let's make this a regular thing. And then if I offer like a mobile session, then I'll go see them mobily. If it's just like if I see like okay, you know what, yeah, they can't come in or um because most of my stuff's here. And if it's just like oh hey I need like an emergency I'm like all right cool yeah I'll go but this is the charge for a mobile. It's a little bit more just because like gas and stuff like that, but not as much, but just sometimes. And I'll schedule
mm,
that at the end of the day. So like when I leave here, I'll go to them and then I'll just go home because I'm like yeah. So
right, right.
yeah,
That that
it
that
is. That's
mobile's a
why I'm
little
like
different.
yo I gotta set that up at the end of the
I,
day. If it is mobile, it's
it's a
towards
little
the end of the
different.
day. It's not midday because I've done that where I'm like come here and then I go do a mobile and I come back here and like traffic and then it's just like yeah. I'm like no, I just set that up at the end of the day.
That's a
Um,
lot.
so like I'll like block off a time. I'm like hey, this is when I
Yeah,
do my mobile. Okay. And
yeah. It's tough here as well. Mobile, I think I don't, and that's one of the reasons why
yeah.
I would like to, because I know Sadie does it quite a bit, and I know a lot of her
Oh
sessions
hell yeah,
is
dude.
mobile, and she
Shoot.
has the scenery for the mobile. So that's
Oh
like
hell
that's
yeah. If I
another
had a
one of the
beach, man, I see
aspects of
her
there. I
Instagram
go,
all the
oh
time. I'm
man, I
like,
can't
oh
wait.
my god. I'm like, yes.
Oh man, yeah. I'm trying to. I see half, or I say about a third of the time when I
Yeah.
watch her stories. Really, is to see how she's doing. Of course, that's all the time. But
I was
also,
like,
I'm
just
hoping
show
she
a beach.
show
Like,
like a
I
beach
don't care about
story,
your appointment time. Just show the
just to get
beach.
the waves. Yeah, just show the beach. Just
Oh hell
I
yeah.
don't have a beach here, so I look forward to seeing those. Like it's there, and it's like 3 hours away to get to a simulated beach, which doesn't count as just a big lake. I don't think it's not the beach unless
And that's
there's an
just
ocean
seagulls.
next to it. That's the way I look at
Yeah.
it. There might be
And
some
that's
sands
why
and
yeah, that's
hangout
why I found
areas,
like
but I
Costa
want the
Rica and like
beach.
that school
You
is
know,
amazing because the town it's like the town and like the school is like a block away from the beach. So I'm like, you know what, this is amazing. It's beach time. Get away. You
mm-hmm,
learn something. Two, you could write it off because it's a business expense. And then three, you get some beach time and chill out and just enjoy like the nature, the monkeys, the animals. The you can hear them all at night. The rain the local cuisine and everything. It's just amazing. It's cool. Um, so that's what I like. And then yeah, just like I tell like
yeah,
especially new therapists, I was like, yo, like I since I came out of school, I really never like really took some time off. But now I'm like, yeah, at least once a month, I'm gonna take some time, maybe go somewhere and do some communication, or just go and travel and vacation. And, I don't know, go to Disneyland or California or somewhere.
yeah.
Um, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's important
Exactly.
because starting off is that building
Yeah,
process, that and it's the grind, work, grind to get it to the point to
exactly.
establish a clientele enough to sustain you. And I
Yeah,
think that's it, like for what you said, 200 clients, because there's a saying from my school where we're
yeah,
licensed to work on
exactly.
anybody, but that doesn't
And you're
mean
not
we
gonna
should work
have
on
everybody too,
everybody,
man. Like, yeah,
right?
you're not everybody's cup of
So
tea. Yeah.
you're not,
So that's and
everybody's
that's
not
why I
going to
tell
like the
everybody like,
style.
yo, like, there's no guilt in massage because
Exactly.
you're probably not gonna like my style, but you're gonna like probably my friend's style. Or you're not gonna like their style, but you're gonna like so and so
Mm-hmm.
style. So yeah, we're not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine, and that's cool. And I tell people like, did you? And like when people are like, oh, well, it's a bad massage, I was like, well, did you explain to that therapist, and did you talk to them? Well, not really. I'm like, yeah, tell them like, tell them you want more pressure, tell them you don't
Mm-hmm.
want pressure. We won't get our feelings hurt. We'll just be like, okay, and
Right.
like if the therapist listens, then that's cool. If they doesn't, then they probably got their feelings hurt. But I'm like, I won't get my feelings hurt. I tell my clients, I won't get my feelings hurt. Like, shoot.
right. If you got a therapist, because
Yeah,
we I don't want to say crazy, but it's very
yeah.
important for us to have that communication always. When you got that communication, it's very, very difficult for anything to go wrong or for you to be dissatisfied because you wish we
Oh, hell
worked
yeah.
a little bit or added more pressure to your calf muscle or hamstring. It's okay to tell us because what we gotta, a good therapist be able to adjust. You
Oh yeah.
can't put the same amount of pressure on your back that you can on
Oh
your
hell yeah.
gastrocs if you want to go medical with it. But that's two different types of muscle structures. It can't handle the same, so we have to adjust to that area. And sometimes we can be a little bit lighter than you would like, but you're not going to offend us. Let us know at any time during the session,
Yeah.
you need more pressure, how, can we adjust this or whatever. It's all about your comfort. We're here to serve you. That's what it's about, man. And being your own, and like you
Oh yeah.
said, like, if you're going down the path of being a licensed massage therapist, travel
Exactly.
to spend that time to recharge. Yes, you got to build up, but
Yep.
once you get there, take some time to yourself.
Exactly.
Be able to, that's what you're doing it for, to enjoy life,
Exactly.
enjoy your day to
Exactly.
day, right? They don't. We teaching. We teaching. Yeah, man. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't want to take too much of your time out of the day. I know you got
Yeah.
a busy day, man, and I appreciate all the time you spending. Is there
Um.
anything else you would like to tell future therapists or anybody listening that may be a client looking for? I highly recommend Homerun Massage if you in Texas. Look them up, get an amazing massage, especially if you're an athlete. I don't know anybody else down there doing it more than what he is. And if there are, I just don't know. I haven't came across. I know home run massage, and that's who I'm rooting for, knocking it out the park
I
with
think
home
that's it,
runs.
man. I think we pretty
Okay.
much
Is
covered
there anything
everything.
else you'd like to add?
Yeah. It's good to see you. It's good to talk with you. Yeah, dog. Hell yeah, dude.
Always, man. We gotta do some more. We gotta do some more. This platform can hold up to. I'm gonna do like I'm doing individual first, and then I'm gonna start doing groups where we can, because one more thing to add to it, we can get, and this is kind of what started it all, and this is one of the most important points that I'm kind of trying to say for, when I talk with Sadie in that episode, but it's important for us to communicate. Like he said, like there's a couple of friends that's
Oh hell yeah.
also massage therapists that he may prefer to a client.
Yeah.
You're not by yourself out here. We have others we can work with. We're not in competition. We're here to help bring light, help bring high
Hell
vibration,
yeah.
help heal, help serve humanity worldwide. We can't work on the world. There's more than enough. There's actually
Exactly.
too much for us to, you know what I mean? So, it's really too much for us to handle. It can be overwhelming just by juggling two,
Hell
three
yeah.
hundred, or not $300, but two, 300
Exactly.
clients. If you even get to 300, two is a
Yeah.
lot. 200 is incredible. So yeah, we appreciate, man. We appreciate you blessing us and giving us the information and letting us know how it is down there in Texas. Just hold on for a minute for me, and we appreciate everybody that tuned in, everybody that's watching this, all the future listeners that's watching this, and we say remember to resync back to yourself. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you share, like, comment, and subscribe so you can get notified on the new uploads to the channel. If you're watching this on my website, thezodiacexperience.com, make sure you join the email list where you can get notified on new episodes or even a chance to join the live show, me and the audience, and even get some cool gear like this jacket and shirt. If you're listening to this on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple, iTunes, whatever you are, make sure you follow so you can get notified as well. And last but not least, if you're not following me on any of the social platforms, IG, Facebook, TikTok, etc., everything is at the Zodiac Experience. All the links, everything else could be found down below. Appreciate you tuning in. Once again, thank you. And remember to resync back to yourself.